What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Josh. Today we're going to talk about 5 things I dislike about my BMW M235i. We'll preface this video by saying I don't dislike this car by any means. I absolutely love this car. It's been such a joy to drive this past year and a half. I do love the car. I do recommend the car, but there is a few things I definitely dislike about this car. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so before we get started, make sure to check out the description. I did recently just make an online shop, so instead of there being a million links in the description, like usual, for all the parts that I've installed, for parts I recommend, I did make an online shop that covers everything. It was crazy making that, being that I've done a lot to this car, and I've had a lot of people ask me about this part or that part, a lot of them being the front bumper. So there is links in the description, all included in this online shop that I made. So definitely go check that out. Let's get started. Alright, so we're sitting in my 2015 BMW F22 M235i. It's Alpine white with a coral red interior with a 6-speed manual transmission. And the first thing I hate about this car has got to be the wheels. Now wait, I know, I definitely don't hate the VMR 801s. I do hate the wheels, how basically my wheels have C's to the wheel hubs and they are impossible to get off. So it's absolutely the biggest pain. It's such a mission to get my wheels off of this car. So I clearly need some lubricant or something. So if you have a solution for me, please drop a comment down below. Let me know what I should use. Because basically, every time I go to get the wheels off, it's impossible. The wheels are just C's to the hub. It's such a pain. I definitely do need to clean up the wheel hubs as well, as they're a little bit rusty. But I absolutely cannot stand have to do anything with taking off the wheels. As well as the wheels are just the worst. They just get so dirty. So this isn't really the wheels, more of the brakes. And I know I could get some ceramic brakes, but they just get so dirty. It's absurd how you can clean these wheels and within a few days the brake dust just builds right back up. It's absolutely crazy. I clean my car more or less once a week, and every single week they're just filthy again. So actually this weekend's video was supposed to be I was going to ceramic coat the wheels. The weather didn't really hold up very well, so stay tuned for that. But that is something I genuinely, absolutely just, it's so frustrating that, I mean, for someone like me, I like keeping my car clean. So when I clean it and a week later, not even a few days later, the wheels are so dirty with brake dust, it's the biggest headache. So the second thing I hate about my BMW M235, and it has to be not something that I personally dislike myself, it just seems to be something that overall in the community, this has to be the #1 thing people complain about most. And it's definitely the fact that this car does not come from factory with an LSD. So for me, this wasn't a deal breaker. The limited slip diff, I mean, a lot of people complain about it compared to the open differential. For me, it wasn't a deal breaker. But when you break it down, it kind of doesn't really make sense why BMW would label this car, you know, as a M performance car with M badges all around everywhere, and not just, you know, put an LSD in this car. It doesn't really make much sense. BMW is hitting a really good target market with, you know, we have all the base model BMWs, the 328s, the 428s, and then, you know, the top model M cars, the M2, M3. They're hitting a very good target with this car as, you know, an in-between M performance car. So it's like they want to hit a certain status, a certain, you know, level, it's a sports car. They're labeling it as a sports car. It's a turbo-powered car pushing over 300 horsepower. Why wouldn't you put an LSD? Especially since it comes as an option from factory. So if it comes as an extra option, why wouldn't you just put it in the car from the beginning? It doesn't really make any sense for what BMW is trying to do with this being a turbo-powered sports car, pushing some good power. Why wouldn't you just put it in there? It really doesn't make any sense. But like I said, it wasn't really a deal breaker for me. It just, once again, doesn't make any sense since most cars with this type of power and this price range have LSDs. So whatever. So compared to the open differential, I can't really give much insight because I've never really driven an LSD or a car with an LSD. I test drove an M4, but I'm not really going to sit there and act like I've driven a car with an LSD because I couldn't really tell the difference. It was just on the BMW's small little track behind that dealership they have. So I can't really give my experience on driving with an LSD compared to the open differential. But that definitely seems to be the #1 thing people cannot stand about the M235i. So the #3 thing I hate most about this BMW, as I just mentioned with the LSD and how BMW wants to hit this certain level of status, putting all the M badges on this car so it can reach a certain, you know, a level of, hey, this is an M performance car with 25 million M badges all over a car that enthusiasts argue isn't really an M car. So the third thing I hate the most is, why did BMW put so many M badges on this car? So this is a massive topic that's been in debate since 2014 when this car got released. You know, is it an M car? No. Is it an M car? Well, it says M235i, but it's not an actual M car. So my opinion, I'm just going to leave it as M performance car. It reaches that target market of, you know, the in-between of the M cars and the base model cars. I do kind of wish they didn't just litter this car with massive amounts of M badges. There really isn't a need for, it's just excessive. There's so many. So I mean, it's an arguable conversation. I mean, some people say yes, some people say no. I personally just will leave it as the in-between. It's not an M car, but it's an M car. We'll just leave it as, we'll agree to disagree. We'll leave it in the middle. We'll leave it as neutral. There is M performance parts, there's M parts. We have the M2 braking system, the suspension, the steering. I mean, the whole thing is honestly annoying once you drive this car enough and speak with enough enthusiasts that some people just hate this car because it's not a real M car. But it's like, in reality, who really cares? If it's a huge target market for BMW to hit that middle ground. So I get it from a marketing standard. My opinion, and this is why I debadged a lot of the car, was that once I took the stock wheels off, I was like, wow, those are 4 M badges that are gone. I might as well take off the fender badges. I might as well take off the badge in the back. And before I knew it, I was just debadging the whole car just so I didn't even have to deal with any of the, your car's not a real M car, all that stuff. So yeah, I know it's not a real M car, so we're just gonna leave it as the 235, the M powered, the M performance car. Alright, so the fourth thing I hate about this car, and it's not, once again, these aren't really like deal breakers, these aren't the biggest deals, but it's when I bought this car, you know, obviously I did my research. If you're considering buying this car, do your research, and one of those things you're gonna find is the charge pipe is faulty on all of these cars, the M235, the M240, the M2s. The F-Series platform just has faulty charge pipes, and for it to be such a well-known issue, it just makes no sense why BMW uses these cheap crap plastic charge pipes. And it's like, why not just recall that and replace them? Because I've heard so many disaster stories of people posting a picture on the internet and be like, hey, what's this? Oh, someone's charge pipe blew up again. It's insane how many horror stories I've heard. So if you're considering getting a BMW M235, M240, the first thing you should do before you even buy the car is buy the part. Buy a replacement charge pipe. It's an aluminum charge pipe. You can find them anywhere, ECS Tuning, FCP Euro, Keys Motorsports. Get a replacement charge pipe. It's just the type of thing that I'd rather have that sense of security, that sense of like peace of mind, that I'm not going to be driving on the highway somewhere, and even on stock boost and stock pressure, having that blow up on my car and be stranded. So it's honestly crazy. In my opinion, that really should have been a recall. It's literally that prevalent of an issue. All over the forums, all over the Facebook groups. This is something that is on a daily basis that people have these issues with. So yeah, it definitely should be a recall from BMW. I mean, it's $200 around, give or take, something like that, to replace it with an aluminum charge pipe. I can't imagine how cheap it would be for BMW to just recall that and just replace them all with legitimate parts, because all the plastic is just very brittle. So I mean, once again, it's not really a deal breaker type thing. It's just a type of thing. It's like, dude, there's a faulty part in your car. It's a $40,000, $50,000 car. Why are you putting all this plastic in it? That's just straight up garbage, really. So the fifth and final thing I hate about my BMW, why doesn't the M235i have an oil temperature gauge? Come on, BMW, what are you doing? So for most enthusiasts would know, these cars take a while for the oil to heat up. So I mean, I'm definitely the type of person, I don't just turn the car on and drive, I always let it warm up. But it's kind of annoying having to pretty much drive blind when you turn on the car and you have no idea if the oil is ready to go or not. It takes a while for the oil to heat up, so I would really like to know. So I mean, I know there's options. You can get the M Sport steering wheel with the electronic gauges that will tell you, you know, the gauges of the coolant level and the oil level, but it's pretty expensive. You know, that's over $1,000 just when all I want to know is, you know, the oil temperature. Why is that so much to ask for? It's a $40,000, $50,000 car. Come on, BMW. So once again, it's not a deal breaker. It's just one of those things that make you scratch your head. Like, it's a sports car. It's a turbo-powered sports car pushing a lot of power. Why wouldn't you just put an oil temperature gauge for me to know if my oil is good enough to drive? Like, come on now. So once again, it's not a deal breaker. It's just one of these little things that's like, if I had, you know, if I had to engineer this car, I feel like things like that would be, you know, a given. So, and I do know in the newer cars, the M240s and the M2, I do know that this issue has been fixed, but still, it just is what it is for the M235. Whatever. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm sure a lot of you can completely agree that, you know, sometimes some things just kind of suck and don't really make much sense, but you know, it is what it is. I'm still kind of mind blown. Why wouldn't BMW just put an LSD in this car? If you're gonna have it be an option from factory, just put it in there. Either just do it or don't. Why have it be the in-between, an option after the fact, and just put it in? Whatever, it doesn't make any sense, but I'm sure a lot of you can agree on that. So definitely make sure to check out my online shop that I just launched. I'm actually as well on Facebook as well. So follow me on Instagram. Check me out on Facebook. You know, content is king. So if you guys enjoy my content, check me out there for more content all day long. I appreciate you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay safe. Take care. Peace.